I found two smart guys I had never heard of before, and I thought I'd bring them to you, see what you think of them. My name is John Mike Keene. This first one is named, this is Alex Karp from the Palantir Group. Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and their friends, David Sachs, are all involved with these kind of high-tech, right-leaning companies.
Americans are the most loving, God-fearing, fair, least discriminatory people on the planet. And they want to know that if you're waking up and thinking about harming American citizens, or if American citizens are taken hostage and kept in dungeons, or if you're a foreign power sending fentanyl to poison our people, something really bad is going to happen to you and your friends and your cousins and your bank account and your mistress and whoever was involved.
This is Karp's basic explanation of why Trump won the election and why so much he was at Silicon Valley fundraisers for Trump. A bunch of right-wingers flushed in millions of dollars for Trump.
You know, when Americans are spending $1 trillion on defense, what I want and what I think my peers want is, why are these people keeping our citizens hostage, torturing our people, attacking our allies, maligning us in what was once called the United Nations, basically a discriminatory institution against anything good?
It's what Americans want is protection. We don't feel safe. That's an overwhelming theme in today's videos. The people just didn't feel safe under Biden. They knew something was up.
We need to stand up, and those people need to be scared. And that's why this conference is so important, because we have the best products in the world, and we cannot have parity. Our adversaries do not have our moral compunction. If it's even, they will take advantage of our niceness, kindness, our desire to be at home in Nebraska or New Hampshire or wherever we live in our peaceful environments. And they need to wake up scared and go to bed scared.
And that's Palantir. It does a lot of defense work. And he uses it to say that there's evil people around the world. They need to go to bed scared. It can't just be parity. It can't be just be neutral and equal, which is what the left always proposes. He talks about overwhelming dominance.
And if you give that to the American people will go back and say, and honestly, probably shouldn't say this is why I thought the Democrats were going to lose the election, why they did, because people want to live in peace. They want to go home. They do not want to hear your woke pagan ideology. They want to know they're safe.
They don't want to hear your woke pagan ideology. That alone makes Alex Karp a genius in my books, that while the left was preaching to us about diversity, equity, and inclusion, the people didn't feel safe. They're going, what is going on at our borders? What's going on our streets?
And safe means that the other person is scared. That's how you make someone safe. And the average American person understands this. Unfortunately, many of the intellectually captured institutions, funneled and intellectually owned by the Berkeley faculty, do not.
Intellectually captured, I love that. He's a very smart guy. I hope to hear more from him in the future. I will bring him to you as I go. Here's another smart guy, a second one I had not heard of. This is Saagar Enjeti. And he breaks down why Joe Biden is one of the worst presidents in American history.
Biden is, but it's really hard not to say that he's one of the worst presidents in modern history. And I think the reason why I'm going to go with it is because I want to judge him by the things that he set out to do. So Joe Biden has been the same person for his entire political career.
That's an argument we've made. Joe Biden's been the same his whole career. He's always been an oaf and a boob. He didn't suddenly become incompetent, guys. He's always been blind and bad, underperforming, a hack.
He is a basically C student who thinks he's an A student. The chip on his shoulder against the elites has played to his benefit in his original election to the United States Senate, through his entire career as a United States Senator, where he always wanted to be the star and the center of attention, and to his 1988 presidential campaign. And one of the most fascinating things about Biden and watching him age is watching him become even more of what he already was.
There you go. I love saying this too. He's always been a pompous, mean ass. He didn't suddenly become that when he turned old. He's becoming more and more of who he really is. He's not changing his character. He's the same character.
And one of the things that comes across is his sheer arrogance and belief in himself as to why he should be the center of attention. Now, the reason I'm laying all this out is the arrogance of Joe Biden, the individual and his character, is fundamentally the reason his presidency went awry. This is a person who was elected in 2020 really because of a feeling of chaos, of Donald Trump, of we need normalcy.
That's true because people hated Trump so much and they believed media. That's peak media 2020, guys. Now media has fallen. They're no longer influential. But that was at the very last gasp peak of big media. They pushed Joe Biden through, one of the most incompetent politicians there was. And remember, he wasn't even that liberal. He was really kind of pragmatic. He'd do anything that the liberal power told him to do. So that's why Barack Obama's radicalism came to Biden and was channeled through Biden, a truly empty vessel.
Decides to come into the office, portrays himself as a quote unquote transitional president, slowly, begins to lose a lot of his faculties, and then surrounds himself with sycophants, the same ones who have been around him for so long, that he had no single input into his life to tell him that he needed to stop and he needed to drop out of the race until it became truly undeniable to the vast majority of the American people.
And that's the greatest weakness, is when someone's ego is so huge that they can't have dissenting voices around them to correct them. You never want full agreement of people around you because they will snow you. They will end up encouraging things and always be afraid to criticize you. And Joe Biden, that's all he's surrounded him with are yes men and a yes media.
And when you have an 80-year-old man who is simply just eating ice cream and going to the beach while people's grocery prices and all this thing go up by 25%, and we don't see the same vigor, we don't see the same action, the bias to action, which is so important in the modern presidency. That is fundamentally why I think the Democrats, part of the reason why the Democrats lost the election, and also why I think that he missed his moment in such a dramatic way.
He missed it because he was an elite idiot. Their arrogance and their foolishness came from the media. They knew they had protection from elites. They knew they had the Hollywood money. It may have worked. They slipped Biden through once, and then when they tried doing it again, they had lost all their power by then. The emperor obviously had no clothes, and the Americans said, nope, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
The truth is that his own narcissism, his own misplaced belief in himself, and his own accidental rise to the presidency ended up in his downfall. Back to his original campaign speech, 2019, why I'm running for president. It was Charlottesville, and he said, I want to defeat Donald Trump forever, and I want to make sure that he never gets back in the White House again. So by his own metric, he did fail. It was the only thing he wanted to do, and he failed on it.
He failed at the only thing he wanted to do, and the Americans disagreed with him on that premise in the end, that just running against Trump wasn't enough. And lo and behold, America ended up falling back in love with Trump again. Thank God. If you're happy about that, let us know in the comments below. Give us a go, Trump. I'm John Mike Keane.